Good morning, guys and gals, and hello, my friends. This is your host, Joe, Life with Yosef, and we're out and about again today. This is going to be Dish Extravaganza 25, number 4. It might be 4A. I don't know yet. I'm standing at the intersection of California 62 and California 177. Which, if you look up in the encyclopedia or the dictionary, bumfuck Egypt, the middle of nowhere, this is definitely one of the contenders. Now, I'm out here, well, I got a couple of trips. I'm on my way to Blythe today, after all, where I'm going to stay 2 days. In roughly February of 1993, right after we moved out to Stockton, the Dish and I stepped on a stick or in a ditch or something on the golf course at Swenson Park. And I turned my ankle so bad I was out of work for 6 weeks. And I was wearing a boot. And hell. So I packed up the bike, the Goldwing, and went for a ride, a boot and all. I ended up meeting one of my bros in Laughlin for a few days, and I'm pretty vague here on how I was right here, but I remember taking a picture of the highway sign, of the assurance signs, and the arrows kind of as the sun was setting with my headlight on the sign, and I was out here by myself. Now, I've been here with Charlie, but he had a CB900C, and I had my CX500, so this was an entirely different trip. And bluntly, I can't remember. Somebody's waving at me like, looking at me like, dude, you're such a ham. I can't remember which way I was going, if I was going from El Centro to Laughlin or Laughlin to El Centro. God, you know my memory's shitty for something that happened 30 years ago. But I've been here nevertheless. We're here again. The intersection certainly changed. There's a lot more traffic out here. So we've got a couple of stops, not too long. We're going to spend 2 nights in Blythe. Whether I make however many more vlogs, I don't know. You know, I never know until I get all the finished footage together. I don't like to have them much over 22 minutes. Yesterday's was 30 and I split it in 2. So this is going to be the wrap of the opening shot. I'm going to have to time and date stamp this because I could never remember. Jesus, dude. So I got dude out, I walked dude, I peed dude, I gave dude some water. We're going to get back in the truck and we're going to press on to our day. And we'll see what's next. Our next stop of the day, about 10:30 in the morning, finds us in Desert Center, California, which is in Riverside County. If you are an urban explorer, I think it's called Urbex, here's the post office, which is still open and staffed. If you're an urbexer, then you probably recognize some of this. If you're a gamer, it's my understanding that whether it's Grand Theft Auto or one of the popular ones has like a copy of this place. Now we're going to get to the family cafe here. This has been deserted for a good long time. East of Blythe and west of Chiraco Summit, and then on into the Coachella Valley. There's no mistaking the oblong concrete, though you could see the piping to the underground pump and the tanks of where the gas dispenser used to be, dispensers. What we usually call the gas pumps is not exactly accurate. The pump is in the ground, and the dispenser is what the hose and all that attaches to, but we all call it the gas pump, and we know what we mean. Not entirely abandoned, as the state of California Caltrans has a road maintenance facility here, and to the left is modular housing for the people that work here. So there you go. We're a long way from anywhere. As we filmed the last abandoned station on the north end of 177 here, Blythe is about 48 miles to the east. And I imagine, though I don't know right now, that maybe one or two of the people I follow have been out here and made contact. If they haven't, then bluntly, YouTube search is your friend if this type of stuff interests you, and we're done here and we'll see what's next. Our next stop of the day finds us at Eagle Mountain, which is in Riverside County, California, in the late 40s, I want to say 1948. Henry J. Kaiser opened a mine out here. And he built an entire, almost like a company town, a town for his employees and the teachers at the school and the people that ran the grocery store, the gas station, and the restaurants and stuff to all live. And this is a pretty booming spot up until when it wasn't. Now it's closed. For those of you who grew up in California and or worked at the Mercury or both, Kaiser Permanente was one of our healthcare choices at the paper until it became the only healthcare choice until things went tits up. Now, Henry Kaiser, there's a cement plant, or was, out off of Stevens Creek that is also Kaiser. And also Kaiser, Henry J. Kaiser, got in the car business with Fraser, and they had Kaiser Fraser or Fraser Kaiser. The Henry J was one of his cars, and Sears sold them under the Allstate brand. So this guy Kaiser had his hands in an awful lot of stuff. But anyway, I'm not going to drive up there. They don't let you in anyway. And there are YouTubers that I follow that have been up here. So I'll do a little bit of looking, and I'll link in the descript. If you want an overview or something like this, you'll be able to find it. If you don't find what you want, YouTube search or Google is your friend. So we're pretty much done up here. I just wanted to see what the hell this was. You know I like stuff like this. So we're done. Jesus, dude. We're done here. And we'll see what's next. Probably not much. But you know, out here, it's about 12 or 14 miles to the highway, and then you're literally 50 miles to either Indio or Blythe. So you better have everything you need on site. So we'll see what's next. As I'm finishing up my shot, you'll see the security truck coming, and I had a very nice chat with Miguel. He'd been there about 6 months. He has to do his rounds. He said he hasn't really had any problems, but he's heard some of the stories of people trespassing, but he hasn't had to deal with it yet. So we had a wonderful chat, and I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. And now we'll move on to see what's next. Our next stop of the day, about 11:30. Hell, I thought I'd pop up here to Taraco Summit, which is on Interstate 10 in Riverside County, California. And the George Patton Museum is here. Now, I've been here. I'm not going to go in today. And I imagine that I'll be able to find somebody I follow who's been here. And if not, then Google is your friend and YouTube search. But Patton trained all out here in the desert before heading over to North Africa and such. General Patton, like almost all great men, had deep flaws. He's not exempt. The movie Patton is one of my favorite movies, one of the greatest movies ever made. In fact, my dad took us to Alameda to the double feature of MASH and Patton, which I swear to God, I don't think I've ever seen a better double feature than two of my favorite movies ever in the history of the universe. One of my favorite parts of the movie Patton is right before one of the North Africa battles, where the camera kind of zooms in on Patton's nightstand, and on the top of the nightstand is a tactics book written by Field Marshal Erwin Rommel. So the next day, when Patton's troops are stomping the shit out of Nazis, the film shows Patton saying, "Rommel, I read your book, you bastard, and know thy enemy. Know the person across the negotiating table from you. The more you know, the better decision you could make." I've had to learn that in life. I've had to learn a lot of hard lessons in life, but that's certainly one of them. So we're also up here. I'm going to run some film. I'm not sure, I may or may not have some old pics up here, but I'll run some film. If you see it, you do. If you don't, you don't. But after here, we're going to make a straight 90-minute drive east on Interstate 10, and we're going to end up in Blythe. So we'll see what's next. This is used to be a gas station here, but I point out on the right of the building right here, that V8 sign looks like the Ford sign from the 30s, when Ford first introduced their flathead V8, which really put Ford in the forefront of fast cars made in America, affordably fast cars. I thought I had an old picture of this coffee shop, but it turned out to be in the one in Desert Center. So here's the modern coffee shop. The Chevron's across the street to my left, and we'll see what's next. I'm going to make this the close of my 2-night stay at the Motel 6 in Barstow, Riverside County, California. And you see, it's about 10 to 1, check-ins at 2, and they wouldn't let me check right in even though my room was ready without paying a $40 fee. And I thought, that's terrible business. And the gal was even I sensed that she was kind of embarrassed that she had to even say it. So franchisee or chain, this is not the most solid business decision in the world. It's a bad look. Nevertheless, the room is nice, the AC works, the ice works, I'm close to parking, and it's quiet. So life is good. So, this is as always your host, Joe, Life with Joseph. Thank you for watching and subscribing. Enjoy your day. Peace be with you. Keep your head in the game and your eye on the prize. May Freya show you favor on the hunt. And we'll see you for the next one.